search through the lonely earth beneath, climb through the briar and
welcome back to the garden. Now the rain stopped, the sun's come out, the clouds have gone, and it's glorious. So I thought I'd have a quick trip out into the garden, do a bit of a tidy up and get ready to do a bit of planting. And my plan is to clear out this little border which you can see running along behind me, move all the plants that are in there, maybe into Debbie's front cottage garden, and then put in a lovely row of peas. Now I thought I'd interplant the peas with courgettes. I've just got this image of like a nice wall of peas to pick and harvest, and at the bottom of them lovely golden and green courgettes, picked when they're little, chopped up fine and put into salads. So let's have a look and see what we can do with that. Let's just check it out. That time of year again, isn't it? Out into the garden. The beans hanging up drying from last year and a few peppers there. But I've had a bit of a head start. I've jumped in, you can see I've got the sweet peas are already coming up. Edible garden peas are up there. Look at the size of them. I'm going to have to harden them off. There's Uncle Harry's cactus plants. Basket stuff growing. And this year you might notice no yellow buckets. I mean, I've still got them, but I've gone up market. Look at the size of those babies. So the plan is to put one big tomato plant in each one nice pepper around it, and then also a few little salad veg, a bit of basil and stuff like that as well. So I've put in half a dozen of these things all together. You can see some more sweet peas. I love sweet peas, they're a gorgeous plant. Now remember the giant sunflowers last year? Well, I'm hoping that's the seed from them. I'm not the best seed collector in the world, but anyway, I thought I'd just give you a quick look around the greenhouse there, and you can see that I haven't started tidying up, mate. Don't look at this bit here, because that's just all stored treasure. But let's pop outside and see what's on the go there. Remember these clematis last year? Look at them, they're all ready, shooting away. March, and look at the size of them. They're going to be tremendous this year. Now this is what I wanted to come and have a look at. I haven't actually emptied one of these out yet, but these were the ones that we put the Jerusalem farty bombs in last year. So let's just see if I can get one out. I'll pop you on hold. Okay, so we're back again, and as you can see I've just tipped it out, and I actually put one farty bomb in each plant. look at this, my goodness me, what a crop. Actually, now I remember I put two in. I put two in each pot just to see if they would take, because I wasn't sure that they would, you know. But what I grow these for, I grow them for the hedge, because they grow about 4 or 5 feet high. I grow them for the flowers, because I'm a member of the sunflower family, so you get a lot of flowers on them. And I grow them to give away. But look at that. So from putting effectively that in, I'm getting all that back. And that is just one pot. Oh, there's more. There's absolutely more. Look at this. But this whole section you can see along here, that's the wood for my little Barbie here. This little section that I'm running along here, you might remember last year I grew runner beans on and they grew really well. Well, this year I plan to clear out a lot of this stuff. I'll leave the odd nice plants in, and I'll clear everything else right out, and I'm going to put a wall of peas right the way along here. Not sweet pea, but edible peas all the way along. Here we are outside the old man cave, and you can see on the top there I've got some solar panels. Now they give me about 200 watts. It's not a huge amount, but I use that to charge up car batteries on the inside. And then I can use 12 volt lighting out here, or I can use it for a little bilge pump to empty my hot tub when I put it on, when I can find it. Or I can use it through an inverter and run power tools. Let's go and have a look. In the small shed, and you can see it's not even sunny today. I mean, it might look bright on the camera, but it's really not sunny, and yet it's powering up my battery absolutely great. So my little old lights are working lovely. So you can see solar power at its best. I know, a lot of you keep asking what's that coffin in the corner, but it's not a coffin, it's a worm farm, and it's fantastic. And this year when I emptied it, I got, I think it was 8 big yellow buckets full of the best worm compost out of there, but I must also have had 20 gallons gallons, mate. Old-fashioned, you know. 20 gallons. So in litres, that would be times 5, multiplied by 3, divided by a lot. I got a lot of liquid fertiliser, and I use that in the gardens as well. I can mix it down with about 10 part water, 1 part worm compost, and then I use that as a general foliar spray. Plants absolutely love it. Grass is just pulling straight out. There's a little bit of weed gone in here because this wasn't mulched, this section. I've been putting flowers in here and plants, although I did have a few beans in last year. They come up really quite well. I was very happy with them. But I've had beans in here now, so I will need to enrich the soil a wee bit when I get the barrow. So the plan is, it's interesting, I don't know what I've had in the garden, but every snail shell that I'm finding is empty. That's good news for my cabbages. Quick question time. Why is it every snail shell that I'm finding doesn't have a snail in? I must have found dozens in a short stretch. Now I haven't put poison down. The shells are not smashed, so I don't think it's like a song thrush. And yet every single one of them is empty. Answers at the bottom. So as you can see, it's looking a lot tidier around here now. Getting it all cleaned up. I've kept this in. It was put in, it's in full flower, and I don't really want to go changing it now. It's a really nice little azalea, and the bees like it. So you can see I'm working along here, and now I'll come across this. Now, 5 points if anybody guesses what this is. Well, actually, I'll tell you, it's a geranium. Now, you know, we normally see those great big geraniums in pots that you buy in Tesco and that. Well, they're not geraniums, they're pelargoniums. This is the original geranium. It gets beautiful little flowers on it, but you can see it's just a big, massive tangle. A lot of dead stuff in here. So what I plan to do is lift this out completely, split it into maybe 2 or 3 clumps, and then repot it and use it as a kind of a patio plant for the rest of the year. There you go. 3 nice clumps of geranium, and that heather there as well. The heather needs to go in the ground though, that won't do very well in pots. And so, whew, it's getting minging hot out here. So the beds are cleared, I've weeded them out. Anything green and compostable is in the compost bin right now. Anything weedy and nasty is going to be bagged off and go into a long-term weed storage area. And then over the course of about a year or 2 years that will rot down completely. Now, these beds originally were just made of sand. The house was just built on sand, and the ground itself isn't very rich in nutrient. But remember the worm bins I showed you? Look at this, can you see this? Don't know if you can make that out at all. It has no smell at all, it's completely rotted down, and this stuff is what you get out of a worm bin. Now you remember my worm bin is just a converted fridge freezer. I throw a bit of green waste in, a bit of bread, a bit of anything really, and the worms love it. I bought a packet of worms from eBay. Postman wasn't too keen, mind, but we put them in, and now it's been run about 18 months, and I must have had about 50 kilos maybe, 40-50 kilos of excellent black compost. I've also had about 15 gallons, you see that, kilos, gallons, I'm continental, you know. I've had about 15 gallons of good liquid fertiliser, and I use that watered down, 1 part fertiliser, 20 parts water, and I use that as a standard feed for all my plants. That's it. So I'm going to put a couple of bucketfuls here on this ground and just dig it in lightly with a little trowel, hence a little trowel. And the idea is just to enrich it a wee bit so that when the peas go in, there's plenty of nutrient in there to give them that first burst to get them really growing. So I'll get this spread out and we'll just see what happens. It's a wind-up radio. Now, the windy up, I mean, I got this a lot of years ago, absolutely a long time ago, and the windy up bit makes a hell of a noise, and the little solar panel on the back stopped working as well. But I had one of these old, cracked, an old solar panel from a little water pump, £5 on eBay. The pump seized, I kept the little panel, plugged the panel onto here. I love it. Radio for free. It's costing me now. It's a bit of a bugger when the clouds come over, like I have to keep singing myself to fill in the gaps. But other than that, I love something for nothing. Who doesn't? You might have gathered, I enjoy my life. And I love gardening. But if it's not fun, why do it? So you can see now that I've got the canes in, and I'm using a bit of this old plastic. This is plastic netting. I didn't buy this, and also I'm using this awful kind of stuff. I normally use sisal string, but somebody gave me a few balls of this, and I just kind of throw stuff away because that makes the total waste. So I'm using it, but I will dispose of it sensitively at the end. So these canes are in now, and the net goes right down to the bottom into the enriched soil, and then we'll plant the peas. Okay, so the nets are in, and I'm going to pop these in. Now you can see they've only been in these pots a couple of weeks. They've grown beautifully, but look, they're already getting root bound. Will I take this off? I look like a panda with this hat on, don't I? Oh, don't know what I look like now. The sun is still bright. So these are green shaft. They're a lovely pea. I've grown these before. Very easy to grow. Don't need much looking after. Protect them from the mice, protect them from any cats or pigeons, and they'll just look after themselves. Very heavy cropper, long pod, and I've had up to 15 peas in these things before. They're first class, so we'll pop a few of these in. I've grown 3 in each pot. They're a bit close together, but I'll put them around about 9 inches, 10 inches apart, and the whole idea is we'll have a lovely thick hedge of peas. I'll pop these in, then I'll let you have a look at what it's like. Now I soaked these quite well earlier on this morning. When you get them, just open up the roots a wee bit, not too much, just open them up a bit. And bury them in nice and firm, and then firm the soil around them. Don't want too much air in there. And get nice and clean. And again, a few more there. Then the idea is they'll just grow lusciously right up these nets, and in a few weeks' time I will be picking the most delicious young peas to put in the salads. So this is a bit of old glass that a neighbour of ours gave me very kindly, and if I just pop that on there, I'll have to be careful not to knock the canes over, mind you, but I'll just put it on there carefully. Then the idea is, it just makes a bit of a one-sided cloche. How about that? So that was it. That's the peas in, cloche in, garden section weeded. Do you know there's only one thing missing? nice cup of tea. So I'm going to have myself away now, get myself a cup of tea, and just have 5 minutes. Anyway, if I can do it, you can do it. Get out in your garden, have some fun.
I'll be your treasure.